we started our trip with 4 of us, driving from Managua, the capital of Nicaragua, to a wildlife preserve called Veracruz de Acayo. Our accommodation was tucked away in a forest, surrounded by monkeys, colorful birds, and fireflies, which lit up the trees at night. Although we were 10 minutes walking distance from a beautiful point break, we opted to surf the uncrowded, punchy beach breaks, driving through rivers and washed out roads to get there.
My God.
We moved to our second accommodation, a beautiful house at Playa Colorados. It was an upgrade with working AC. Unfortunately, the wave was crowded and the swell direction meant mostly closeouts, so we only spent a few sessions out front. Mike and Murphy found some uncrowded waves just up the beach at a wave called Pinga Drops. There's one wave I've always wanted to surf in this region. It's a reef slab that breaks during this time of year. We spoke to a few locals and learned it's best to surf on a mid to high tide. After waiting for the tide to fill in, we headed over to check the wave, but it was far from perfect. The wind was a bit too sideshore and the set waves were clamping at the end. I decided to give it a go anyway and thought I'd have more luck on the second section of the wave. It was a tricky wave, and while I didn't find what I was looking for, it was a great experience. I hope to be back to score it when the conditions align. Our time in South Nicaragua was coming to an end, and it was time to drive Mike and Murphy to the airport. Mason and I continued north to Aposentillo to hunt more beach break tubes. On the way, we watched a volcano erupt and saw kids selling armadillos on the side of the road. Once at our hostel, we settled in and made some new friends who kept us company in the afternoons, playing cards and sharing nice meals together. While we found a few visions, the waves were fickle at the boom, needing specific tides, winds, and wave heights for it to work. Aaron, one of the Australian friends we met, spoke to a local videographer who shared videos of pumping waves from a secret beach that morning. Aaron brought back the news and we immediately sent a message to the videographer asking if he could take us to the secret wave in the morning. For $50, he shared the location and met us at the beach with a camera. It was time for our next adventure, to celebrate my friend Hunter on his bachelor party in El Salvador, which was really just a surf trip disguised as a bachelor party. Mason and I boarded a small boat and crossed the Gulf of Fonseca to El Salvador, where my brother was waiting for us in a rental car. After picking up some pupusas, we headed to Punta Mingo. There were now 6 of us, staying in one big house. For 5 days, the daily ritual went something like this: 5 a.m. surf, 9 a.m. breakfast, 10 a.m. nap, 2 p.m. cards, 5 p.m. check the surf again, 7 p.m. dinner. Overall, it was an unforgettable trip. Shoutouts to Mason for putting up with all my shit for 3 weeks, Loco Bluff Crew and Elvin for filming, Austin for picking us up in El Salvador and driving 100 kilometers per hour through massive potholes, Vito and Bodo for making me realize life isn't just about barrels, Hunter for inviting us to his radical bachelor trip, the Mikes for making sure that we hit our daily Tonya quota, Harley for being bloody good as, Aaron because he needs some positivity after experiencing some bad luck through Central America, and every stray dog we met along the way.